Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Mary Jane. Please like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peace, my peoples. I just want to say thank you to everybody that like, comment, subscribe, and share the videos. I really do appreciate it. I want to say thank you. This is my second video of Growing Up Hip Hop, Season 3, Episode 8, Count Your Blessings, because the first video was really choppy. So hopefully this is better. So we start off talking. Breanna, she goes to see Dame, and she's letting Dame know that, Boogie is not just, has an alcohol problem or suffering from alcoholism. He's actually sipping on scissor and he is taking pills. And Dame is like, oh, what do you think the problem is? So basically, they start discussing. They started to talk about, Boogie's problem. There was like, maybe there's an underlying issue. Maybe he's trying to hide from something. Maybe, he needs a healing, or that's something that he's suffering from that no one knows. There's something really deep embedded inside of him, and that's probably the reason why he's doing drugs. Dame says, my son had a good life. There's no reason why he should be doing drugs. No reason why he should be suffering from anything, because he had a good life to his knowledge. And so, Dame asks Breanna, do she know the reason why, or is there anything going on with, Boogie that he's suffering from internally? And she was like, she don't know. Only Boogie can answer that question. So then Dame says that he thinks that Boogie is seeking out help, and it's a cry for help as well. And so he got to listen. So he's going to talk to his son. And so we'll see what happens with that situation. And he thinks that Dame feels that Boogie needs to get out of Vegas. I mean, get out of LA or whatever, and go to Vegas. And so I don't know what's gonna happen with that situation. I hope that Dame is suggesting that Boogie goes to Vegas or whatever. So I hope that Vegas is a rehab center. It's somewhere for him to seek counseling, because if he's suffering from something, he's going through something where he's trying to escape by using drugs. Just focusing on work is not going to cure his problem or his situation, because he's going to end up going back to what had worked, and that's something that numbs him to the pain, in which Breanna was saying, because Breanna was talking about her situation. So we get Angela, Boogie, TJ, and Romeo, and they're all chilling, and TJ is throwing the party. He's inviting everybody to come, but Romeo's not going to come because he's going to be in the studio working on music. The sample of the music sound okay, and Boogie's not going to be there because he's going to Vegas with his father. And so we'll see what happens with that situation. Also, with the Janet Jackson situation, when the lady meets up with Adonis and meets up with Chrisania, and the grandmother shows up, it kind of when the young lady was talking about all the problems and trials and tribulations that she's been through, like she's been through foster home, she's been gave up from adoption, she didn't have a mother or father, she was comatose for a while, and she was brought back to life. And it sounds like she had such a difficult life, and she was suffering so much, which we know the Jackson children, Michael Jackson, his brothers and sister, did suffer traumatic childhoods. But I believe, like, at that time and point, since they were hiding that child that Janet Jackson had, which is alleged that she had, and I told you in my other videos what my aunt said about the situation. I don't believe that this girl is that child, just because of, I don't think the child was gave up for, will be like in the foster care system. I would believe they would make sure this child was, if it was Janet Jackson's child, that this child was well taken care of and comfort, and was in the safekeeping of somebody, and not to be homeless and sick with no insurance and things like that. So that leads me to believe that this is not actually Janet Jackson's child. If Janet Jackson's child did make it, when she was pregnant, whatever, we'll never know. So, but I believe the DNA test is gonna come back in no relations at all. And Christina, she doesn't believe it as well, because she doesn't resemble a DeBarge at all, or a Jackson. So moving on from that situation, we get Boogie. Oh, Boogie looked like, when he was in his confessionals, that he was high, he was lit, especially with the sunglasses on, and the way that his voice was going, how choppy his voice was going, and it was in like low motion, low speed, and everything. It just seemed like he was actually high, and I feel bad for him. Hopefully he can get the help that he needs, and it was so crazy, when Dame met up with Boogie because Dame texted Boogie while he was at Romeo's house and was like, he needs to come home. I needs to talk to my son or whatever. So Boogie comes home or whatever, and the first thing Dame says is, "Oh, well, Breanna thinks that you have a problem, that you're on drugs, that this and that." So okay, Dame and Dash, you're being a chatty patty as well. How come you couldn't say, like, is there any problems that you're having? What are you trying to escape from? Why are you trying to numb the pain? It's just like Boogie gave you an answer, hey, oh, it's because of the DUI, but there's a reason why he got the DUI, because he's suffering from some type of addiction. And so he needs your help, and it's just like, you don't see that. I know you come from a strong background, and your son is part of your lineage, and he's supposed to be just like you, but he's not just like you. He's more timid, he's more softer, he's more well spoken, and he is more of a softer, gentle type of person, and he's not like you. And I think living in your shadow is a problem for him, and what you put on him is too much. Because right now, if he's if you know that he's sipping on Sirzurp and he's smoking weed, he's taking Xanax and things like that, why would you force like him to go work in Vegas and focus on this distributing marijuana type of company when he's suffering from something? When you said with Breanna that he's has some type of internal issue and a problem that he's suppressing, and you're just thinking about business. And so I don't think that Boogie feels like he has that type of bond where he can actually open up to you like you could with Master P and Breanna, even though Breanna just dropped a dime on him. But he even forgave Breanna for dropping a dime on him. So it's just like, yo, okay, whatever. And I would just wish that when they get to Las Vegas, that Dame takes Boogie to rehab. It would be nice if he goes to rehab or whatever, you know get some type of counseling, some type of work. And we see Breanna, she goes sees her like spiritual advisor with the tarot cards, and basically Breanna says that she was mean, she didn't give the girls a chance, and she suffered from a lot of abandonment issues, especially Mary J. Blige abandoning her, and it's like everybody has abandoned her. Her father's not in the picture right now, and so that's why she has these problems, and then being on drugs and things like that. And she really misses Mary J. Blige, and she was like, Mary J. Blige quit her, and everything like that. And the doctor was like, well, she didn't quit the marriage, she just quit the situation. And so Breanna is suffering from abandonment issues and probably low self-esteem, and also feeling like she's not worthy of attention and people. So when she sees Angela and all the other girls on cast, she sees everything that she probably desires to want to be, but better, and wish she had the opportunity that they had. And like she said, she feels like she wasted a lot of her life because she was on meth and she was smoking crack and she was smoking cigarettes for 10 years when she was at Master P's house. And she said she feels like she probably didn't give the girls a chance. And she said she's going to stop trying to be like mean and being a bitch all the time when she wakes up in the morning. She's going to try to have a different approach for things to work. So she needs more counseling and more help, because also when you abuse drugs like that, it damages your brain, it damages your mind. Even though you're off the drugs, they do have a lasting long effects on you. So that's why she can go from 100, she can go from 0 to 100, and like she reads situations wrong, and like she's been through so much that she doesn't know when she's inappropriate and when she's coming off too harsh, because she grew up in the street, because she said she was homeless and all this other stuff. So we get to we'll talk about Pep and Egypt, and what's her name, TT. It was like, this was the longest infomercial ever. And if you guys ever want to do an infomercial on a TV show, do it like Pep did. The infomercial went forever, went to like 3 episodes. We even got Damon Dash. She goes to see Treach, and he tells Treach about Boogie, and about Boogie using drugs and sipping on that syrup. And so Treach goes, since when is it cool to be a custody? Since when it was it cool to be a drug addict? It was like, that shit don't fly, that don't make no sense. And Damon Dash was like, I got to do something with him. He got these DUIs. And then Treach, he talks about his situation with Egypt, saying that, my daughter came to see me the other day and everything. And she was talking about this book that Pep wrote a long time ago. And basically, it demonized me and made me look bad, even though I am guilty of some of the things in the book, but I'm not guilty of everything. And Egypt And Pep should have, if she was going to tell the story, tell the whole story, tell what she did instead of making him look bad, and making her daughter choose to figure out which parent is the right parent, which parent is telling the truth. And it's like, she wrote a book about all this bullshit, but she's not taking accountability of what she has done, and it wasn't that bad. So, and basically Egypt's in, a bad situation with trying to figure out the truth and who's telling truth or not. So she talks to Titi and tells Titi that, hey, my dad said that, that he did apologize to her because I told him I wanted him to apologize. She said, she told you I didn't apologize. And so Titi seeing that the situation is going to get much bigger once Pep hears that, Treach is denying it and calling her a liar. And so Titi and, Egypt agreed not to tell Pep the whole story. I mean, what Treach said about the situation. And so we get to, what's her name? What is her name? Pep makes, a big deal out of Egypt finding out about the book. The book has been out for 8 years. She keeps saying that, Titi robbed her, the situation. Egypt robbed her. It's supposed to be her moment. What moment? Rob you of what? You robbed your daughter of 8 years of knowing the truth and the information about you when everybody out here in these streets knew the information. So it makes it seem like everybody else was important and getting that coin was important. And also when Treach said last episode, the books are all lies. She just wanted to make money. But this big, emphasis on the book, and then you getting the book from like the piano seat all gift wrapped and everything. How long did you have that book there? Yesterday? Or you had that book there for 8 years? It didn't make any sense. And you was like, it's my moment, you robbed me of that. Why it has to be your moment and somebody robbed you when you robbed your daughter of the truth, when you robbed her from knowing the information when she wanted to know the information. Also, Egypt said, isn't it better that I know now than even later down the line? And Pep says, no, I was robbed of my moment. How are you going to make that moment special? Only way you can make that moment a real ass special moment if maybe you have Treach on FaceTime and you're there and you and Egypt and go through the book together where he can say his part, what happened with that situation, or say he does not recall that situation, where you guys can have an open discussion about the book, whether she can decide whether who's telling the truth or not, or she can just see or feel what is true to her in the situation. But it seemed like it was all about you. This book was you. It was just like you kept promoting this book and everything. It was like, we're going to have our moment. We're still going to go through the book. It was just like a total infomercial. And it was just about how Pep felt the situation should be. But anyways, at the end of the day, she forgave Egypt. She forgave, Titi or whatever, because they're family. But Pep, you took it too far with the rob me. You robbed me. Like, come on, girlfriend. You made money off that book. Anybody robbed you, and right now you're promoting the book. So you need to get it together and be happy about the situation. And at least your daughter knows now, and she learned on her own because she felt like she was adult enough to learn about to read the book, and she really wanted to, and she felt like she can trust in TT to help her for that support, and TT was there to support her, to give her, the right advice, or at all times TT did give her real advice. So anyways, going on from that, I was just like, yo, Pep, you did so much promoting of this book that when she just kept saying I robbed you, and she kept, she had the book all gift wrapped and everything. And then she had to open the book after she already read the book. She already got her own copy. Now you're gonna give her a copy. I'm like, yo, these guys are going way too far. So anyways, we get to the party. We get to TJ's party, whatever. Pep is talking to Angela and having a conversation or whatever. And, Angela, they're talking, and then Pep talks about having a child, how's mommyhood. And, Angela was like, oh, it's all good. Everything's gravy. And so Pep was like, yeah, it was too. I had my only child. Then I got married. It was almost like if Pep was throwing a shot at Angela saying, hey, listen, why ain't you married? You're Rev's daughter. What's going on? She was like, well, that's how I wanted my perfect life, to have my child, be married. And Angela didn't say anything. And it was just like, whoa. And so with that situation, it was like, okay, what's going on? And it was like she was taking a shot. And I don't know if Angela picked up on it, but then Angela saw, TT, she saw Bree, and she saw Egypt, and she immediately Finito bounced the premises. Producers was calling Angela, hey, where you going? She was running around a corner. Like, let me tell you, she must really don't like Bree at all, and she doesn't want to be filmed with her or give her any type of time whatsoever. And Angela is trained to box. She knows how to box with her, so it's not like she can't fight. But I don't think Angela likes to deal with confrontations. I think there's always been a middleman or a blockage where she didn't have to deal with confrontations, and other people will handle her situation. So actually having to deal with, Bree on this one-on-one basis, especially being on camera, and she feels like, Bree doesn't like her, so why even be bothered? So she's not going to give her the time of the day to try to embarrass her and make her look bad, you know. So she runs off. But I think Angela just needs to understand there's a lot of people out here that have mental illness and has suffered, and sometimes you're gonna have to deal with these type of people. They can come off normal, they can have they can be wealthy or be around people that are wealthy like you, but deep inside have mental issues. And you should be able to read that, okay, I'm not gonna take this person serious. I'm not gonna give into what they're dishing out if it's negative, because I know they're coming from a place of offness. Things are just not adding up. All the wheels on the bus don't go round and round. So, but that's something that Angela needs to learn, because she's gonna have to teach her a child to deal with situations like this. You just can't run. You're a grown woman with a child, and you're running from her. And you can have a conversation with her. Security's there, and I don't believe that Bree is going to put her hands on you at all. I don't believe nobody in that location will even let you get touched. Period. But I understand that you just don't want to be bothered. You feel like you got too much stress going on, so you don't want to hear it. And so, Bree's already kind of slighted, feel abandoned. Now Angela's running out the door. Then on top of that, Angela didn't show up to the church or anything like that. Then you hear Master P tell his story about him and his brother used to figure out which one was going to die first. They didn't think they was going to make it to see 25 or 19. That was really sad and touching at the same time. So Angela took off. She does not want to be bothered with Bree. I think if Bree wants to build a relationship with Angela, she needs to just go around now while she's on the show and mend relationships and turn over a new leaf for everybody to see. Because Angela probably doesn't want to be bothered with either. If and her and Chris and Nia were friends, and Chris and Nia was there for her and it was getting along, then all of a sudden you turn your back on Chris and Nia and you disrespect her like that. Angela's probably like, I'm done, I'm through. I don't give two craps about this girl. I don't want her around me. I don't want her in my presence. So this is my second video, and this is all I can kind of like remember. But it just seems like I think Bree burnt a lot of bridges, and instead of learning from her mistakes, she makes her mistakes worse. So even though she said that she wanted to apologize to Angela, but when she tried to apologize to Chris and Nia, like when they was at the bar or whatever, she was even more disrespectful to Chris and Nia. So it's just like maybe Angela just don't want to feed into that negativity. So Bree needs a whole lot of work, and hopefully Boogie gets some treatment. Peace. I'm out.